Good evening, everybody. It has been a rocky day across the Central Plains this afternoon and into this evening. Looking at all these bursting cloud tops, these are all embedded with some tornadic storms north of Little Rock, and they're starting to build back down towards the south and west, Texarkana back towards Dallas. This whole thing is going to slide off towards the east, but the main low is well back into northwestern Kansas. And let's look at that whole system now. This system is going to be plaguing us here in the southeastern United States for the next 48 to 72 hours here. Here's that low pressure centered just south of North Platte, Nebraska, and this is feeding in from Canada and bringing in rain showers and even some snow up into Nebraska and back towards Denver. There's some snow falling there as well. This whole system is being wrapped in with moisture from the Gulf of Mexico down towards the south. Kansas City got a line of thunderstorms earlier this evening, and that's all pushed off towards the north and east and towards the Chicagoland area. Down towards the south, we've seen a lot of thunderstorm activities. So let's jump right into all of the conditions that are going to help this system build, and it's going to cause a lot of trouble for us across the southeast in Arkansas. Today is ground zero. It's going to be us by Tuesday evening into Tuesday afternoon. That low pressure center, again, centered off into northwestern Kansas there, and there's a lot going on with this whole system. There's a number of air masses involved, and that's why we're seeing such a volatile time here across the Central Plains this evening. There's one area of warm front and some warm air mass off towards the south and east. That's what we saw that first band earlier this evening. There's a secondary warm front that is really sucking up that moisture like a vacuum cleaner from the Gulf of Mexico. And there's a cold front that's really aligning itself with some dry air across the Central Plains that is going to really clear everyone out over the next 12 to 24 hours. But there's also this drier air off towards the west. Oklahoma City, these are dew points in the 20s and 30s, folks. And that's a contrast to everything off towards the east. Dew points 70 degrees in Little Rock this afternoon, upwards of 75 degrees before all is said and done. And that is very, very muggy air. Now back behind that, that's very dry air. And when these two clash together, they cause storms, and that's what we're seeing here across the Central Plains from eastern Oklahoma into northern Arkansas into southern Missouri. A couple of tornadoes involved there as well, and this is all going to push off towards the east. And this heat isn't helping either. 79 degrees right now in Oklahoma City, 90 degrees in Dallas right now. Thankfully for them in Dallas, most of that moisture has pushed off towards the east and away from them. 82 degrees in Shreveport, they're still in the crosshairs there. The main activity during the overnight hours is going to be from southern Arkansas over towards Memphis and northern Mississippi, and this is all going to slide off towards the east, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Here's a map we don't generally show. This is the amount of energy in the atmosphere. This is the uplift. This is the forcing that causes those storms to become so strong. There's plenty of energy down towards the south to be tapped into from the Gulf. The hotter the air and the more moist the air is, the more there is energy for those storms to be worked on, and that's spreading up into Arkansas there. You can see that this is all going to slide off towards the east. Back towards the west, most of this is so dry that you can't even get a storm to form back there. And that low pressure system, there's no severe weather off towards the north, and that's because there's a lot of dry air back there as well. This whole batch of energy is going to slide off towards the east during the next few hours, and is really going to spawn some energy from Memphis to northern Mississippi. And then by Tuesday morning, we're going to be looking right around the Biloxi and Mobile area, and then this is going to slide into our area by the dinner rush hour on Tuesday and then into the evening hours. So we are looking at a stronger chance of some storms in our area by then as well. Here's some winds. This is the jet stream, and I'm going to move over to the other side of the screen now. This is the jet stream. This is screaming in at 40 to 70 knots, and that's well up into the atmosphere, looking up at 30,000 feet, and that's a lot of wind up there. And when that comes down, that's going to come down with a lot of force, and that's going to create some stronger storms. There's even some stronger wind coming in, some of this upwards of 100 miles per hour from Memphis over to Dallas by Tuesday. Thankfully, this is going to stay away from us, so we're not going to see any of those stronger winded storms here. But there is a chance some of that wind could mix down towards the surface, and that's what's happening across the Central Plains. 31 miles an hour gusting to upwards of 40 today here in Oklahoma, and up towards Kansas, 35 miles per hour in Wichita back in Texas, some of the winds were gusting to 40 to possibly 50 miles an hour back there, and this is all going to slide off towards the east as this whole system moves off towards the east. What else is in play creating some of these storms? Well, we also need some rotation and some twist in the atmosphere, and this is being played along with in the surface. We're seeing that warm front off towards the east, bringing in southeasterly winds, and then we're seeing the cold front bring in some of that southerly wind, and it's all combining and converging here over Fort Smith in western Arkansas, and this is all going to slide off towards the east. And I'm going to say it again because it's all going to slide off towards the east. That means it's coming our way, folks. This is going to be plaguing Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia during the next 48 hours before heading our way and off towards the Carolinas by Wednesday. It's not going to be nearly as tornadic as it is this evening because some of these ingredients are going to fall apart. You saw some of that energy sliding off towards the south. This whole system is going to push off towards the north and east, kind of like spreading out the puzzle pieces during the early parts of this upcoming work week. And this dry line is also going to fall apart. Here's the categorical outlook by the Storm Prediction Center right now. Everything in yellow is that slight risk or the enhanced risk of some storms. This is going to start to be weeded away as some of these storms work out of the area. But again, here's that main area. Everything in red is a moderate risk, and then the highest risk, which is the highest category produced by the Storm Prediction Center, is for Little Rock and points south in Arkansas, including Fort Smith and almost to Texarkana there. And this is going to slide off towards the east. There is a moderate risk for Memphis during the overnight hours. And again, these storms are going to be pushing off towards the north and east, following that wind out of the south and east as this whole system moves off towards the east. A lot of dry air back here. You can actually see some low-level cloud cover. But as that warm front pushes off towards the north and east, you can actually see it there from St. Louis down towards Nashville and over towards Knoxville and down towards the Atlanta suburbs, the northern part of Atlanta anyway. That warm air is being pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to see quite a bit of fog, widespread dense fog, especially in our western areas, especially over towards I-10 onto Mobile and past Biloxi. There's going to be a lot of fog there and some wind as we head into late Monday into Tuesday, and that fog is going to be with us as well each morning until this whole system pushes off and out of our hair. Now here's the current tornado watches. You can actually see as I walk you through this, these warnings are going to pop up. These red boxes are tornado watch boxes. That northern one is in effect until 2 o'clock local time. Severe thunderstorm watch box there in effect for the northeastern parts of Missouri. Farther south is actually where the worst of that weather is. These red filled in boxes there, those are tornado warnings. Most of those are actually on the ground or at least radar demonstrated. And this middle box, including Little Rock, is what we call a particularly dangerous situation. That's what the Storm Prediction Center is calling it because there is an expected value of tornadoes, a lot of tornadoes and possibly some strong tornadoes in northern Arkansas, and that goes until 9 o'clock tonight into the early morning hours. We can see this reissued towards the east, and there's actually a new tornado watch off towards the east now that will be staying in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. That includes Tupelo and western Mississippi. You can't really see the states there, but that's where that watch is in effect. Everything in green here, that's due to water. This storm system is going to produce upwards of 4 inches of rain in some spots across northern Mississippi and Alabama. Here's how that severe risk is going to play out. Everything is going to slide off towards the east as that cold front pushes everything off towards the east. Tomorrow, for Monday, we're looking Tuscaloosa off towards Memphis, including Jackson, Mississippi. And then by late Monday, we're going to be talking about northern Alabama and possibly northern Georgia. And then by Tuesday is when we really get into the thick of it here in Tallahassee and across the Big Bend. Into the evening hours, there's that squall line is going to push on through, and I think it's going to be mostly a squall line, but there could be a couple discrete cells. And we say discrete cells, we mean some possibly rotating cells. Now, it's a little bit too far out to exactly nail down what kind of severe weather we're going to see, but that's my general idea of what we're going to see during the afternoon to evening hours here across the Big Bend as this cold front pushes off towards the east. And by Wednesday, the whole thing gets out of our hair and pushes off towards the Carolinas and out to sea by Thursday. So wrapping everything up here, this is what we're going to talk about here. During the overnight hours, we're going to see Arkansas severe weather over towards Memphis and western Tennessee, possibly into southern Missouri and into Louisiana. And then by Monday into Tuesday, we're going to talk about that storm system moving into Alabama and Mississippi. And then by Tuesday, we're going to be talking about it here in the Big Bend area across the southeastern United States for places like Atlanta down towards Montgomery and Mobile and Pensacola. And then pushing off the eastern seaboard by Wednesday into Thursday, taking all of this bad weather with it. But we could see some rain lingering into Thursday.